Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Bible Talk from the Green Room. I hope everybody had a good week. I am glad we got some rain and knocked some of this pollen down. Getting ready to head out and go to Clinton to Ag Day. So if you're out and about today from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., stop by the Ag Expo Center in Clinton and learn about all things Sampson County agriculture. Today we're going to be in Journey of a Lifetime. We are in lesson number 12. And this week we're going to look at the book of Second Kings and briefly look at the book of First Chronicles and the book of Second Chronicles here. The book of First and Second Kings are named so because of their content. That's what it talks about there. They record the reign of Solomon and the succeeding kings of both Israel and Judah. These books cover about a 400-year time frame, and they tell us about the growth and then the ultimate decay of those kingdoms. We already studied First Kings, which records the kingdom being divided and weakened. Second Kings will see both Judah and Israel led into captivity here. When we look at it, it's broken down into three sections. The first section here, chapters 1 through 8, is the ministry of Elijah and Elisha. During the sinful times of Israel's history, God raised up men to proclaim his message. These men were called prophets. That's when we first start hearing about that in the Bible. Elijah trained Elisha to be his successor as prophet. The account of Elijah's final meeting with Elisha is found in 2 Kings 2. Two prophets are standing on the bank of the Jordan River. A group of young men designated as prophets are in the background. All at once, Elijah takes off his cloak, rolls it up, and strikes the water. And then the Jordan River divides so Elijah and Elisha could cross on over to dry land. After crossing, Elijah asked Elisha uh, what he can do for him before he's taken away. And Elisha says to double the portion of Elijah's spirit so he can effectively carry on the prophet's work there. And then suddenly, as if a miracle, which it was, a chariot of fire appears and separates them, and Elijah is taken into heaven in a whirlwind. Just like that, it was over with. He was swept up as if a tornado or whirlwind got him and carried him up and away. Elisha's ministry lasts 50 years. He has a great influence upon the kings of his day, and although he doesn't approve of what they do, he's continually coming to their rescue there. Probably the most famous of Elisha's episodes is the healing of Naaman's leprosy there. The conflict between God-fearing people of Israel and the dynasty of Ahab has been smoldering since the confirmation on Mount Carmel. That's how the second section begins as we go from chapters 9 to 17. The current king of Israel is Joram. That's Ahab's grandson. And while Joram is recuperating from a wound received in the battlefield, Elisha instructs one of the prophets to go anoint Jehu as the king of Israel. Immediately after being anointed king, Jehu sets out for Jezreel, and Joram is recuperating. There he kills Joram and orders the body to be cast out into the very ground of Joram's grandfather. Ahab had stolen from Naboth. I had to take a second and get that one. Jehu destroys all of Ahab's descendants who are left in Samaria. He cannot risk having the kinsmen of Ahab alive, since a descendant might take a legal claim to the throne. So he was trying to take care of all that, so that's one thing he did not have to worry about. His next move is to eliminate Jezebel, that's Ahab's wife. And how she is killed, it says she paints her face, she fixes her hair, and she looks through a window. It says Jehu orders her thrown down, so her blood spatters on the wall and on the horses, and the dogs eat her body. That's pretty gruesome there. But she was an evil, evil, evil woman, and if you'll do some studying, you'll see some parallels there of things going on today that relate back to her. Pastor Mark Driscoll just did a great study about Jezebel, and he used many, many, many modern day examples of how the Jezebel spirit is still alive and corrupting people as we speak today. It said Jehu reigned for 28 years. His great grandson Jeroboam is the last able leader before Israel falls. During Jeroboam II's reign, much of the territory lost after Solomon's death is regained, and both Israel and Judah reached the final apex of their history. It says within 12 years after Jeroboam II's death, Israel has 5 kings, 3 of whom gained the throne by violence. And it says the rest of their history is chaos there. Hosea is Israel's last king. He reigns 9 years and refuses to pay tribute to Assyria here. Paying tribute has started during the reign of Menahem, Hosea's predecessor. Hosea returns to Egypt for aid at a time, and the king of Assyria destroys the nation and takes the tribe into captivity there. Since the time of the northern kingdom of Israel has been known as the 10 lost tribes of Israel. They intermarry and thus become a mixed ancestry race called the Samaritans, and we learn more about them in the New Testament there. God allowed that to happen. They sin against God by worshiping heathen gods. That's why He allows this to happen, and they kind of take care of themselves there. When we get into the third part here, Judah into its fall, that's chapters 18 to 25 there. Remember, Judah was a southern kingdom, and it survives for more than a century after the fall of the northern kingdom there. But most of the time they pay tribute to Assyria. In the final years, Judah has only 2 good kings, Hezekiah and Josiah. King Hezekiah seeks to restore Judah both religiously and politically there. The last good deed of Judah is Josiah, and he was only 8 years old when he began to lead that area there and lead and reign that area there. Josiah, without question, was the finest of Judah's kings. He went on and carried out religious reform, and he commanded that they reinstate the Passover, which is timely for this time of year as you're studying your Bible. The Assyrian capital Nineveh falls to Babylonia in 612 BC. Egypt goes north to aid what is left of Assyria. King Josiah resists their marching through Israelite territory and is killed in the Battle of Megiddo. Judah becomes sandwiched between superpowers, Egypt and Babylonia. They rely on both nations as beneficial to them and seldom seek Jehovah's guidance. Finally, Nebuchadnezzar invades Judah in 606 BC. After Judah makes several attempts for independence, Babylonia completely destroys Judah. When we get on past that, the book of 1st and 2nd Chronicles, it only goes over a couple paragraphs here. In the Hebrew Bible, the book's chronicles are called the affairs of the days. They are a chronicle or a collection and arranges in order of events the things that are happening in the Bible. And this was done when we looked at the books of Samuel and Kings. A lot of the same material was covered there that's covered in Chronicles. And what it does, it puts everything in order, and they're filled with these genealogies because what they're wanting to do is preserve racial purity, the priesthood and the worship, and all of those things there they wanted to keep pure. So that is why it is repeated and stands alone there. It says that one thing is not mentioned in the other books that needs to be mentioned. What happened to the 2.5 tribes who decided to stay on the east side of the Jordan River? You remember talking about them staying the other week. And the question is, what happened to them? Well, they're the first to be taken captive by the Assyrians, so that didn't work out too well for them. When we look at the map here, there's a famous gulf that borders kind of Assyrian and the Babylonian territories there, and that's what we're looking at, and that's the Persian Gulf there that we talk about. And as we look at that, you hear about these a lot, and we did when we were in Iraq and Iran, and we were talking about fighting the Desert Storm, Desert Shield, the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. You may remember talks about if those had been bombed, how they would have ended up flooding Baghdad and and other areas through there, but those were the capital cities there. Of Assyria is going to be Nineveh here, and the capital of Babylonia is Babylon. And so there's a little biblical geography there that I hope I got right and explained right. But that's the most recent references I remember to the Tigris and Euphrates, or during our conflict over there while we had troops over there, prior to the capture of Saddam Hussein and all of that. That is this region that we're talking about here. Well, thank y'all for tuning in today. I hope everybody has a great Saturday. Remember, keep mental health a priority. Do a self check in every day. Have the courage to ask those around you if everything's okay. Y'all have a good day. Thanks for tuning in. I love you all. We'll catch you next time.